Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar where we're going to be talking about what is new in the Intellum platform. So just some quick housekeeping before we get started. My name is Shannon Howard. I'm the Director of Customer and Content Marketing. Very excited to be with you all today. Looking forward to introducing you to our guests who are going to share more about what's new, what's evolved, what's changed, and then what's coming. But just some housekeeping. First of all, this webinar is being recorded. So if you want to come back, you want to share it with other people on your team, we'll make sure to send that recording to you afterwards. The second thing is, and thank you already to who's over here, James in the chat. So underneath this video is a Q&A box. So you can use that for two things. One, as we're going, if you have questions, you can submit a question there. So thank you, James, for already submitting a question. We'll have some dedicated time for Q&A at the end. But also as we're going, if you just want to say hi or very cool or whatever it is that you want to say, we love to hear from you in real time. So you can use that questions box underneath the video for that as well. What else? Also, we're going to be doing some demos. We're going to be showing you some things that are changing in the platform or have changed in the platform. And so video quality is very important. Now, this platform is going to automatically resize the video on your screen. So if it looks a little bit grainy or something, in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen is a little gear icon. Click that and you can override the screen quality. So it's just going to automatically adjust based on your internet bandwidth, but we want to make sure that you have that crystal clear picture so you can see what's happening today. So that's how you can do that underneath the video. All right. Also, underneath this video, you can rate this webinar. You can give us some feedback. So if there are other things that you want to hear about, or as we're doing these types of webinars and talking about what's new in the platform, if there are things that would be helpful for you to hear about or learn about, give us that feedback underneath the video as well. And now I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to hand it over to two of my incredible colleagues, Anderson Campbell and Nicole Woodward, and I'm going to give them a moment just to introduce themselves. Oh, that's a housekeeping slide. Here you go. Anderson, I think you're up first.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Anderson, and you can read the stuff on the slide about me. That's why it's up there. I am super happy to be here, and I think the thing you need to know about me is I love our Intellum product suite. I love talking about it. So I'm really excited to talk about the good work that the product team has been doing, the ways in which we keep adding value to the Intellum platform and for our customers, and super excited to partner with Nicole as she kind of shows off what some of this functionality looks like, and interested to hear from you all as well. So that's me, and I'll hand it over to you, Nicole.
Yes. Hi, team. I'm Nicole Woodward. Let me go ahead and, here we go. Move to the next slide. I live in the coastal area of Alabama, right on the Gulf Coast in Daphne, with my husband, Scott, my two dogs, Penny and Rico. And just a little bit on the side things about me is that I love the outdoors. I love riding in my Jeep Wrangler, going off-roading. Please let me know in the comments if that's something you enjoy too, or you have a Jeep Wave. And just love the outdoors and camping. I'm also a stepmom to two wonderful daughters. But I'm a senior solution consultant here at Intellum, and I'll be running the demonstration here a little bit later. So thank you so much for your time today, and we really look forward to showing you the extra value that Intellum has added to the product.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole. So I wanted to take just a couple of minutes, maybe even less than a couple of minutes, like 1 minute, and just set a little bit of context for this particular webinar that we're doing today. Title of the webinar as part of our underscore series is What's New? And that's really what we're going to focus on, are things that we have released so far in 2025. I'm going to be talking about how those features deliver value, kind of like the, well, so what? Like, you release this stuff, why should I care about those? And maybe some practical benefits that you can reap from these features that are delivering that value. And then Nicole is going to demo how those features work. I do want to be clear, though, that there's some things we're not doing in this particular session. So this is not like an in-depth training webinar. So I would say don't expect to come away knowing exactly how to use each of these features for all of the nuanced use cases that you have. This should be more like an appetizer, an amuse-bouche, if you will, of the features within the Intellum platform that we have recently released. And it's not a comprehensive list of everything that we've released to date. We're picking out 4 key things that we're really excited about and that we already see gaining some traction within our client base. But we release stuff every single week. You can chronicle or see the chronicle of that in our release notes. Weekly release notes come out on Tuesday, and it looks back at any piece of functionality or release from the past 7 days. So we make a little bit of noise about some of our bigger release items, and that's what we're doing here with a few of those. So that's what we're going to do today. So as you think about the questions that you might ask or the feedback that you might have, and putting in that little question box below where Nicole and I are presenting our content, keep that kind of stuff in mind. You may have some questions that are really specific to your use case, and that's fine. Please leave them. We may not address those specific to you questions on this webinar today, but we are paying attention to them. We can see who submitted them, and we'll be able to get you answers offline or connect you to the right people internally that can help you with those answers. All right. So without further ado, let's get into some of our first exciting things that we've released in 2025. And the first couple of features we're going to look at are features that are primarily for admins, which I'm assuming most of you are. If you are Intellum users, or if you are prospects that are kind of checking out the Intellum platform, you're probably in that admin or manager persona. You're going to be doing stuff on the back end and trying to create content or manage learning, manage learners, connect that learning to business outcomes. So what has Intellum done for you lately? Well, the first thing that I want to talk about, and this was actually our first release, major release of the year, our new manage homepage and some manager dashboards within the Intellum platform. We know that managers, which we sometimes use interchangeably with admins, but managers in your organization, like, you have to have the ability to make informed, data-driven decisions and need to be able to do that quickly and easily. And that was in our mind as we launched this brand new dashboard and manage homepage experience for all Intellum platform admins. With this new dashboard view and this new homepage, you and your team can have much quicker access to the kind of data visualizations and reporting to track learner progress, or look at content performance, or just view the overall success of the learners and the courses that are within your scope of responsibility. Whether you are a restricted admin user and you have a single group and a subset of courses that you manage, all the way up to kind of a top level unrestricted admin user that can see every enrollment across every course. These add value based off of your scope of responsibility. We also know that our reporting capabilities are pretty advanced and pretty rich. We think that we provide the most data of any LMS on the market, but it can be difficult to access that because you have to be really good at building reports, and that takes a little bit of time. So the dashboards especially, I think, add a lot of quick access value that allow you to then click a level deeper and run the reports that are behind the data, so that you can get that data into your system of record or into your BI tool and kind of crunch those numbers even more. But sometimes you don't want to start there. You don't want to start with a report. You want to start with just show me high level how we're performing, and that's going to help me dig in. That's what the manager dashboard is there to help you do, as well as all of the dashboards that you'll find on content throughout the Intellum platform. So that was the first release, and we're not going to show that one yet. I've got one more that I want to show for admins before I hand it over to Nicole. And that one is called the enrollments list. So if the manager dashboard was all about visibility, then this enrollments list is all about action, because we are now giving you a central, unified, single place to see all of the enrollments within your scope of responsibility without having to jump between a bunch of different views or a bunch of different pages. One of the things that we heard from you all, from our customers, is that managing enrollments can be kind of difficult because you have to start through either saying, well, what is the course I want to go manage, or what is the individual learner that I need to go manage? And if you need to take the same action across a bunch of course enrollments or a bunch of a learner's enrollments, that just leads to a lot of like little clicking here and there, and it's just a waste of time. wasted effort. So what we did is we built a single unified place that we just call the enrollments list that shows you every enrollment in your scope of responsibility. So that's all course enrollments, all learner enrollments, allows you to click into any one of those, opens a neat little side panel that gives you much more detailed information on that particular enrollment. You can filter based off of a myriad of different criteria, and then you can take bulk actions on those enrollments right from the list or from that filtered view. So this is way beyond like a drill down report, which could give you the same information. This allows you to take action and do things like update due dates in bulk, or perhaps assign a whole bunch of users from different groups or different courses to a new set of courses. So it really allows you to take big actions very, very simply and get to that value quicker, which gets you on with your day quicker as well. So those are the two things: manage your dashboard, manage your homepage, all about kind of orienting you to performance, and then enrollments list, which allows you to really start to dive into managing learners at scale. So I'm going to hand this over to Nicole now, who can show you a little bit about how these look and operate within the Intellum platform. So take it away, Nicole. Nicole, I can't hear you. You may need to unmute your mic.
Thank you, Anderson. Okay, we are going to start with the Manage Home. This is really a place that consolidates the access that someone has in Intellum. So things like activities or paths, events and things that an admin might have access to, they can simply click on the tile and it's going to take them to that area to, maybe make some changes to some content if they need to. They can also personalize the page by pinning the dashboards that make most sense for them. We know that sometimes when you give access to the things within Intellum, some people don't completely understand where they need to navigate. So we wanted to make this really easy, as Anderson just went over, and just kind of wanted to point out an example of what that would look like and how you could interact on this page. So I'm going to go ahead and start to dive into the manager dashboard. The manager that I am logged in right now, Scarlett, she has 5 people that report to her. And so I can see those users here just by toggling over to a couple of these filters here. I can see the different people that report up into Scarlett. And I can see even the traffic of enrollments that have happened over time. I can see, given the amount of enrollments, how many are completed, enrolled, started, and so on, and even my team's progress, how many are due in the next week, how many are even overdue, and even average course progress for my team. And it highlights for you in red who is coming past due. So I know that Riley Adams here seems to be a little bit of a problem child. We might need to talk to him and make sure that he's up to speed and knows where to go to find the training, or if he has any questions. So let's say for a second, let's just kind of run through a quick example in a use case. Let's say a manager is, about to have a one-on-one with Aria Anderson, and wants to just quickly tap into their manager dashboard to get an idea of any past due training that might be occurring or progress that Aria is making, and get some quick information before she goes into that one-on-one with Aria about her course progress. And we can see that, she's got a training coming due in a week and 0 progress. So we need to have that conversation with her. And we did this with all in a couple of minutes without having to go into spreadsheets. Let me give you another example. I'm actually going to toggle over to a kind of a super admin in Intellum that's going to have a lot of different access points within the product itself. So things like being able to access groups and users and change permissions, their manage page is going to look different, and their manager dashboard is going to look different because they have access to a lot more information and a lot more, maybe they want to see overall an entire program for a new hire training. So for example, again, let me kind of scroll down here for a second so you get an idea. In this case, we're looking at this from kind of a super manager of Intellum that has the ability to see a lot of different enrollments. They can see how many are due next week, how many are overdue, and kind of overall course progress and the same things that we just talked about. But let's say in this case, I want to look up my new hire program, and I kind of want to get an idea of the progress occurring for the new hire program. So I can see how many people, or sorry, how much the percent of the individuals that are enrolled and kind of the progress they're making in that new hire program. I can see the percent started, how many are due next week, and due within a few days. So due within 7 days. I'm going to kind of scroll here and take a look at a little bit more information. So we're going from trying to view all this training in spreadsheets and Slack messages to full visibility and fast follow-up in really under a couple of minutes. And we want to make this really easy. Okay. I noticed it's 48 due next week. That's kind of interesting. That may be something where I want to pop over to my new enrollments list. And so we're so excited about this page. This new centralized enrollments page, which Anderson covered, it allows you to finally take some bulk action in one spot versus having to go in and, go to a course, find your enrollments list, and then take action from there. It's really meant to give you that complete picture. Now, you'll notice that I've got kind of the search bar at the top, my enrollments across the bottom. I have some different column titles, which are sortable. So you can click the little carrots here and get a sortable list. But as soon as I start to type into that search bar at the top, it gives me extra filters, which are so much more powerful. So I could filter this by a particular group. We know a lot of our customers have a lot of groups set up with Intellum that creates that automation within Intellum. And we want to be able to use that to be able to filter for those individuals right within this enrollments list. So let's again kind of walk through a couple of examples, a couple of use cases where this could be a really powerful tool to get things done really fast and take some bulk action. So let's just pretend for a second that we've got a certification that is been pushed out and lots of people have been enrolled in this particular certification. So I went to the course, I typed in CERT, just a little four letters here, looking for a keyword within the courses themselves. So really simple to do. Typed that in, found the course, clicked on it, and it brought up the enrollments for that course. I know that I did that pretty quickly, so I wanted to go back and explain it. So that's what I did there. And then if I want to look at, all the enrollments, the completed versus in progress, I can simply pop over and toggle the in progress. And let's say for a second that we want to extend the due date for this particular certification. We know that, we need to extend this by a week just because we've been asked. So we want to go in and we want to extend it. We simply select the users. We get this edit button at the top. Okay, so I'll select that. And I can come in and start to change in a bulk way. I can change the status of this enrollment. I can change the type of this enrollment. Is it required? Is it recommended? Because that's going to show up a little differently for that student when they log into Intellum. As far as the status goes, I can make a change to that as well. Let's do the due date like we were talking about. We'll update the due date. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this date here. I'm going to go ahead and run this out to next Wednesday. So we'll go ahead and make that change, update enrollments, and it gives me a little nice fly out that 5 enrollments have been updated with the new due date, which I can see there. So as I see completions as well, I'll be able to, see that in the enrollments data as well, but just making a real quick bulk action, very easy to do. So let's go through another example. So let's say that we've got some product onboarding that we know a bunch of people have been enrolled in. So I'm going to do, let's say actually it's the Fusion Connect course. And this is an intro course that we had people enrolled in. And I could simply just type in the keyword for it to look up that course. You can kind of type in keywords, maybe looking for the person's name or even the course title, things like that. It's going to start to kind of guess what you're looking for and pull those enrollments up. So I see that I have the Fusion, Connect intro. I have my in progress individuals here. And what I want to do here is I want to just send them a nudge email, kind of an ad hoc letter in Intellum is what we, refer to emails as, or notifications as a letter. So I'm going to select these individuals. I say, you know what? I want to kind of just give them a quick nudge, send them a letter. It asks me, okay, would you like to use one of the templates in Intellum that you've already created, or would you like to do a little ad hoc email. And so I can simply say, you know what, I want to do a custom quick ad hoc. Welcome to the onboarding program. We noticed you're behind a little bit. Click here. You've got some dynamic variables that you can pop into that email that links them straight into the course itself, along with that person's name, just reminding them to take that training and get going on it as a quick little nudge. So very easy to do through the enrollments page too, is just another example. I could go on with all different use cases. It's so very exciting of what we've put together here to kind of make the admin headaches try to disappear as much as we can. We're very focused on that. So we're excited to showcase this. And Anderson, I know we've got more to talk about.
We do. I wanted to see if you could show one more thing, and you probably love getting curveballs when you're demoing stuff. It occurred to me that one of the things that we launched with the Manage homepage was the ability to showcase pinned items, so pinned reports and pinned dashboards. And I saw that on your homepage that you've got some pinned items there. I wonder if you could talk just a little bit about what shows up in that area and how to pin something so that you have quick access to a report or a dashboard right at the top of your homepage.
Yeah, that's a great call out. So this is a way that you would personalize this homepage here with some pinned things like reports, maybe some reports that you've created, custom reports, or even dashboard reports, which is what I did here. And you'll notice in some of the report areas, you'll have this little pin option, and you'll simply click on that, and then it's going to come across the top, populate the top of that page so that you have quick access to that every time you log straight into Intellum.
That's awesome. And I'll say that for folks that maybe are kind of clicking and playing along, if you don't see a pinned area at the top of your Manage homepage, it's just because you haven't pinned anything yet. So that whole area is hidden if you have nothing pinned. And then as soon as you pin a report or a dashboard, you see that nice little pinned area there with a preview of the four most recent things that you've pinned. Okay, we'll keep moving along. I see questions coming in. Fantastic. Keep them coming in. We're going to have a dedicated Q&A time at the end where we'll run through all your questions and maybe even have Nicole share her screen again if she has a visual answer to one of your questions. So keep those coming in. Appreciate it. So those were features that were focused on our admin folks. We have a couple of features that are focused really more for our learners. And of course, all of our features that touch our learners have some sort of admin component to them. But we were really thinking with learners in mind when we built these couple of features here. The first is one called My Learning and Up Next, kind of two related features that go hand in hand here. My Learning and Up Next is a way to keep learners engaged and on track. We realize that's one of the biggest challenges in learning programs. I mean, along with the discoverability of content, right? So let's say that you have learners that you have assigned content, you've recommended them content, maybe they've self-enrolled in some things, they've favorited some courses, they're starting to build up quite a little stable of content that they either want or need to engage with. Well, how do they know what to do next? Is there an easy way? Well, currently in the Intellum platform, you kind of got to look in a few different places as a learner to sort through, well, what is my plan that somebody else has put together for me? What is content that is recommended for me based off of what I've taken and what other people like me have completed? What are the things that I've just raised my hand and said, I want to take that, even if nobody's going to make me? Well, that's kind of true in a lot of learning platforms, is that it's a disjointed kind of experience. So we thought, how can we solve both of those problems, kind of knowing what you should be doing in general, and then also focusing in on what a learner should be doing next. And the solution we came up with was a new My Learning area that takes a lot of stuff that used to live in the learner's profile drop-down menu and elsewhere on the platform, consolidates it all into one space. And you can kind of see this in the screenshot here, and Nicole will show us live. But it gives them a place to view and track all of their types of engagement that they've had with content in your instance of the Intellum platform. And we've also created a new way of organizing content that they are enrolled in or has been assigned to them. And we're calling that Up Next. It's a component of that new My Learning page. It can also be optionally enabled by an admin as a home row on the learner's home screen. And what this does is it takes all of those different kinds of content requirements and recommendations and enrollments and favorites, and it algorithmically sorts them so that the most important and urgent stuff is at the top and keeps them on track with all of those different recommendations and requirements and self-enrolled courses that they have taken. From the up next view in My Learning, a learner can still rearrange and filter and sort the courses if they're looking for something. But each time they come back to that well and they click on Up Next, it's going to default back to that algorithmic sorting so that they can dynamically always see what should be at the top of their list. Now, of course, it's on them to then engage in the content in an order that makes sense, but this should help them understand how to prioritize content a lot quicker. This is currently in the process of being released. So if you're an Intellum client, you would be able to find this on your staging environment, a place for you to go kind of play with this, almost like a sandbox that you can kind of kick the tires around in. This will be enabled in Intellum Labs for you to turn on in your production environment later in May. So we're kind of taking some time with this one to allow clients a little bit of early access in their staging environments to understand what the implications of this might be on your particular learner-facing instance. And then even when we roll it out, we're going to do it in a way that makes it really easy for you to be able to opt in on a timeline that works for you after you understand sort of what this new view does for your learners. We think your learners are really going to love it. We think you're really going to love it too. And we just want to make sure that we give you the time for change management that you all need. So we'll be looking at that one in just a moment. But before we do that, I wanted to talk about one more thing that we're doing for learners. And this is something we've called Immersive Inline Evolve. Let me talk for just a second about Evolve. I think many of you are already aware that Evolve is Intellum's advanced content authoring tool. So you can author content natively in the Intellum platform. You can also use Intellum's standalone tool called Evolve, and you can create much richer, more accessible, interactive, richly data tracked courses in Evolve than you can in the Intellum platform or really any native content authoring tool that's offered by an LMS. Evolve has a special integration with the Intellum platform that we call Cloud Sync, which among other things, it allows you to author in Evolve and have that content delivered through the cloud over to the Intellum platform, whether it's a new course or updates to an existing Evolve course. And all of that is synced in real time, ready for your admins to review and then publish out to the learners when they want to publish it. So if you are kind of used to that kind of old school way of authoring in a third-party content system, downloading a zip file for, like a SCORM course, uploading that into your LMS, and then, oh my gosh, you discover there's a single typo. And what do you have to do? Go back to the content authoring system, fix the typo, download the zip file, rename it something else, upload it to overwrite. Like, what an old school way of doing things, of having to manage everything through files. Evolve Cloud Sync allows you to just let those changes sync over, and then you get to review them on the platform side and publish those updates when you want. We're building on that particular integration and have for a little while now displayed Evolve content in line within the Intellum platform. So instead of opening in a new tab or opening in a new window, if you launch an Evolve course within the Intellum platform, it just opens in the same tab. And it preserves that vertical scrolling web-like experience that Evolve content creators have built for that particular learner, that particular course. There were some elements about how that content was displaying in line that could be improved and make it even more immersive. And that's what we've done with this immersive inline Evolve. So we have built on top of an already good experience to make it really, really great, making sure that when you launch a course as a learner that's been built on Evolve and is served in the Intellum platform, you dive headfirst into that content. No distractions. Screen real estate is immediately taken up by the Evolve course, and it's displayed exactly as the content creator intended it to be. So any of the other LMS platform elements that could have been distractions in the past have either been reorganized and rearranged or minimized by default, allowing that evolve course content to really come through, the immersive interaction to really take hold of that learner. And we think this is going to drive engagement and it's going to help course completions, interactions, and really make sure that you're transferring the knowledge or the skills that those evolved content creators are working so hard to build into these super immersive courses. If your team is already using Evolve, this is a pretty no effort upgrade to enhance the learner experience. If you already have courses, Evolve courses that are being displayed in the Intellum platform, you'll be able to go course by course and preview what it's going to look like in the new immersive inline Evolve experience, toggle it on for that particular course. So you can really baby step your way into using this new immersive inline Evolve capability. And then if at some point in the near future, you want to do this programmatically for all of your Evolve courses, we've got some ways for you to bulk update and turn that on so you don't have to go course by course if you don't want to. And if you're not using Evolve already, you can start a free trial for Evolve and then just reach out to us, to our support, and we can help connect that trial instance over to your Intellum platform instance so you can start to see what all the fuss is about. And it may change your life. I'm not saying that lightly. It may change your life as a content creator and as a platform admin. Okay, so let me pass it back over to Nicole. These are the two things that I wanted to show for the learner environment. And let's look at these in whatever order Nicole's going to do them in.
Yes. All right. We love life-changing things too, Anderson. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, team. So, of course, I've just logged in as a student now into Intellum, and we're going to come back to this page in a second, but I'm going to actually focus on the My Learning feature that he was just talking about. And so up at the top here, there's an extra navigation that you can add in, and it's going to take you to the My Learning page where you'll see what's listed is coming up next. So things that might have been recommended or things that someone might have been enrolled in and it's a required. So it really consolidates required, recommended, and self-enrolled courses right on the My Learning page. It's also consolidating in this one little learning profile, your history. So if somebody wants to pop in here and, download some courses and look at their history, see when they completed things, what points did they earn, they can easily go in and see that information, as well as their skills. We love points and reputation that we're receiving along the way in our learning journey, and as another student within the overall student library, and being able to have different points and reputation points and things that are tied to the different training can really be a sticky thing for our customers and our students. And as we're taking certifications and things, we're earning credentials along the way. So we can see all of that, pulled into the My Learning, as well as challenges too. So if challenges is something that you're using in Intellum, which we highly encourage, this also creates a real sticky environment for your customers taking training. It's a great way to kind of pull in, different pieces of content that you might want to encourage people to take every month. This is an example of Amplify April as a title we gave it. And so it's a challenge that I can see here that I've been a part of. So really easy to come in and kind of just take a look at, just everything that's consolidated and, be able to see this really easily as a student. I'm going to pop back to the home page because this extra thing that we've also added that's a part of this release is the Up Next carousel that you can add right to the home page. Think about it when you go into Hulu, you go into Netflix or Disney, and it shows you what is up next for you. Let's say you're watching a series. The Americas is a series that I'm watching right now that I absolutely love. And so when I log into Hulu or anywhere where I'm watching that, the next episode pops up for me and it shows me what is next. So I don't have to dig in and figure out exactly what's next. So that's what this is meant to be, is kind of like the next episode, for that learner to take and continue taking the next course. So I can see that across the top here. So you'll have access to be able to bring that in as well. So we wanted to make sure we showcase that for you. Okay, so now I want to kind of talk about the inline evolve experience, the immersive inline evolve experience that Anderson was talking about. And I'm actually going to pop over to a place where I have a couple of courses, and I've got one in particular that is an Evolve course that we have created using Evolve, and it is inline. And so we're going to pop over to that one. That's what we're looking at here. So I'll kind of take a look here. And it just immerses me right into the course itself. There's no extra header there that might distract me. It plays in line. I'll kind of scroll down here. This is just an example of one right within my demo portal, kind of talking about some of the benefits of a course like this. So I'm not going slide by slide. That feels old nowadays. You know, there's a vertical scroll to this, kind of feels like a natural web page. I can interact with the different elements on the page. These are things that if you're familiar with Evolve, you may already be using. I had a little hotspot image there that I clicked on. I can have little pulse checks. So you can kind of take a look here. And by the way, as Anderson mentioned, it's a really easy tool to use to just sync edits right back into Intellum. There's no download, export, make edits, and it's a whole big headache to make changes to courses. You can simply do that, right within Evolve and then sync it right to Intellum. Very easy to do. So I'm just kind of scrolling down here just to kind of give you an idea. I've got one other example that I just quickly wanted to flash up here, that this is a course teaching people about just a car, and it's just done in a completely different way. It's just really to paint the picture of the art of the possible and how we want to encourage you to play around with Evolve and get involved with Evolve and get to know that tool really well. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised playing around with it and how much fun it can be. And with this new update, of course, we're very proud of that too. And we know that it's going to make that experience even greater for those learners. So as you can see, we have an obsession over a learner's experience. So we're always looking for ways to make this experience even more engaging because we know it significantly impacts completion rates and increases those completion rates. So we're going to continue to do that. Okay. And that is what I had, Anderson.
Amazing. Well, that's going to take us into kind of our dedicated Q&A time here. And some questions have come in already. And we'll kind of work through some of those here in just a moment. If you have a question that you haven't submitted yet into the question box, that's right below the player window there. You may need to resize your browser if you don't see it, because it can get a little bit hidden if you're focused in on the content here on the screen. So check out that little question mark icon that's below the player, and you can submit questions that way. One of the questions that we have, Nicole, and this may require you screen sharing again back in the manager dashboard, but just some curiosity about, from within that manager dashboard, if there's a way to see the list of courses that are showing up in that like completed donut circle that's there without having to go to the enrollments list or another page. So I think just some curiosity about what other kinds of things can you see right from that manager dashboard page beyond just the dashboard graphics that are there?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And just so everyone is aware, we are strategically focused on making this an even better experience for our managers or just anyone that manages people in Intellum. Don't just think just managers. It's just a true anyone managing people within the product itself. But to answer your question about courses, as of now, the way we have kind of helped you get through those courses and find people that are past due or coming due or in progress in certain courses is just to go to this activity area. You can type in the course that you're looking for. So in this case, maybe it's I know I've got a new hire training onboarding program that I go select. And that's going to show me the enrollments, percentage progress, my team's progress, and then, average progress for the team as well so you can kind of get an idea there. You can export these as images. So you're able to do that really simply by clicking on this, and you can kind of actually see this as an image and kind of use it as part of your slideware if you're giving a presentation to stakeholders, things like that. But we are continuing to add to this page where you can have more your ability to get to even further granular details. We're adding to that. So for now, that's how you can go and kind of take a look at those courses and the individuals that are past due on it and so forth.
And that's part of the fun part of talking about stuff that's just been released in the first quarter of 2025 is that you're getting the first iteration and first version of this. One of the pieces of follow-up work that I expect to come at some point, hopefully this quarter, but we'll see kind of how things shake out, is the ability to click from the enrollment, from the manager dashboard directly into a filtered view of the enrollments list. So if you were kind of filtered down to a particular course and you wanted to see who are all of the users that, or the learners that completed that course, because it says 57% completed or whatever, you'd be able to just click on that part of the donut chart there, and it will open up the enrollments list filtered to that particular course, those particular users that completed it. So it kind of follows your intention there. There's another follow-up question there, Nicole, on the manager dashboard a little bit. Wondering if there's a way to see a list of, or wondering if you can filter that dashboard by groups. There's option to look per user, but can you also filter and see like the performance of a particular group? Is that something that you're able to show or to answer?
Yes. So as of today, you actually do just filter by user, but like we mentioned, we're continuing to kind of add the filter needs to that list. Especially, I could see where that would be really important for kind of high level admins that are in charge of a lot of people that need to be able to look at that dashboard and filter by groups. Maybe not so much important for like a manager of a team necessarily. But that's a good question. It's something we'll write down and definitely take back to our product team and talk through. But for now, it is just by user, and we'll continue to add to this.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole. A couple of questions that really have to do with permissions. And so I'm just going to read a couple of them and I can help to answer this. So one of them is about the enrollments list, looking at that bulk edit feature. Is that available to all restricted and unrestricted admins? Could it be disabled for certain groups or for certain authority? So right now it's available to all restricted admins or unrestricted admins. It does follow the scope of the responsibility of that particular admin. So if you have a restricted admin that has limited access to course and learner enrollments, they would only be able to take bulk edit actions on those learners or courses that are within their scope of responsibility. So they couldn't accidentally unenroll or delete a bunch of enrollments that they didn't already have permission to edit. You're asking, and let me get to the other question too, because kind of combined answer here. So there was another similar permissions kind of question for the enrollments dashboard. Is there a specific permission set for enrollments dashboard for a restricted admin, or do they just get this automatically if they're restricted admin and have access to users and user restrictions? You're right. If you toggle this on in Intellum Labs, and that's where this lives as an opt-in feature right now, Intellum Labs, you can toggle it on for your instance. All of your restricted admins, unrestricted admins will get access to the enrollments list, and it does follow their scope of responsibility. So they can only, again, kind of see the learners, see the courses, and interact with those courses and learners enrollments that fall under their scope of responsibility as a restricted admin. But one of the questions behind the question there is, might it be possible for, even within restricted admins, for me to have tighter controls over what that restricted admin has access to? Maybe I want some of my restricted admins to have access to the enrollments list and others to not. Or maybe even within the enrollments list for a restricted admin, I want them to only be able to have access to particular groups within their scope of responsibility. And you'll be happy to hear that we have kicked off some work that we expect to have delivered late Q2, maybe early Q3, around more granular control of permissions for restricted admins. So this is stuff that's actively in scoping and development right now, and we're defining the requirements for what that looks like. It's been a pretty persistent question from our clients of, is it possible for us to take that restricted admin role and restrict it even more in certain ways or certain directions? Because oftentimes you kind of find that there are some permissions that you want a restricted admin to have that maybe they don't have, that only an unrestricted admin has, or some permissions that you don't want that restrictive admin to have that all restricted admins have. And so the ability to kind of look through a whole list of permissions and then choose to opt them in, either yes, give them full access to this particular permission, or no, turn that off for them. Or maybe even something in the middle, like yes, but for specific groups or for specific courses. So that's what we're working on now, is opening up access to permissions for unrestricted admins to define those more specifically for specific restricted admins or restricted admin users overall. So moving in that direction, and I hope that that gets received well by most of you. All right, I think I'm kind of looking through some of the other questions here. Just one outstanding question that I'm actually asking our product team about now. And Nicole, you maybe know this because you spend a lot more time experimenting within the platform than I do. But one of the questions was about the My Learning area. And when you show that, it's everything, right? The whole kit and caboodle. You've got Up Next on, and you've got challenges because you have gamification turned on, and personalized learning shows up there because you have that enabled in Intellum Labs. And the question is, if you don't have some of those things turned on in your Intellum platform, you don't have gamification, so there are no challenges that learners can engage with. Do those component areas still show up on My Learning, or do they not show up at all? Do you know the answer to that?
I don't know the answer. I believe that, though, if there's not a challenge, it doesn't show. But we can get that answered. That's a good question, and that's something the account team can help run down too. That you might be talking to. Yep.
Yep. So James, I have another follow-up question or item for you that I've already written down. So I will be getting with our product team and your account manager, and we'll make sure that we get that question and the other one that you asked about the plan page. We'll get those more technical answers for you so that you have the information that you need. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions that have come through. And we're getting close to when we said that we would end today, and everybody likes a little bit of extra time back in their day. So Shannon, I wonder if I can bring you back in for kind of our session wrap up here.
For sure. Yeah. Thank you both. Oh, I have some weird things going on with my video here. All right. So just a reminder, underneath this video, you can share your feedback. So let us know what was helpful. What would you like to see next time? We read all of this feedback, so we want to hear from you. Also, underneath this video, you'll find links to other things. So you'll find links to next month's webinar. We're going to be talking about how to accelerate content creation with AI, some practical use cases for AI in education. So that should be really interesting. And appreciate you all coming out today. And also thank you, Anderson and Nicole, for walking us through what's new and good in the Intellum platform.
All right. Thank you so much, Shannon, for hosting wonderful webinar series, and look forward to doing another What's New webinar here in the future.
Awesome. All right.
All right.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.